It is official. El-Nino is here, and so is our winter. What kind of effects will El-Nino have on our temperature and precipitation?
I think it's more of anyone's guess. We have to wait. We are still being surprised by what comes next.
Kenneth Scaringa, Associate State Climatologist at Purdue University in West Lafayette, believes we're more likely to have a drier and warmer than average winter ahead.
So in the short term, say until spring, we have a fairly good handle on what's going to happen. We think that this dry down is going to happen late winter. We think it's going to warm up toward late winter.
It is common for El Ninos that occur during the winter months to produce lower amounts of snowfall in a season, as much as by half the normal amount. Greater Lafayette usually sees 20 inches of snow. But forecasting what might be on its way is a science still up in the air.
Knowing the nature of forecasting, long-range forecasting is not very accurate when you get further out in time.
One of the snowiest parts of the state, the lake-effect snowbelt areas of northern Indiana, are usually hard hit with snow in an average year. Not so for this winter, as predicted by WSBT meteorologist Rick Mecklenburg in South Bend.
Our average is about 78 inches each year. Now, we've been trending upwards for several years now. The last several winters we had, I think, 38 inches back in 2005, and ever since then it's been kind of heading up. I think that trend's going to be eliminated this year because of a couple of factors. El Nino is certainly factor number one. We're thinking it's going to be less snow this winter because of that. I forecast 68 for us, which is about almost a foot below our normal.
Mecklenburg remembers the 2005 El Nino conditions, which was not considered an actual episode and ended early that year. For El Nino to be titled an episode, sea surface temperatures in the equatorial Pacific must be at least a half a degree Celsius warmer than average. As of late, an increase of 1.7 degrees Celsius has been recorded, making this a moderate El Nino episode so far.
The ocean doesn't have a constant temperature. It's continually changing. Even if it's subtle, it's continually changing.
These temperature increases in the Pacific Ocean must occur for at least 5 months in a row before being classified an El Nino episode.
Here in Indiana, there's a little area around our Ohio River Valley where typically in El Nino we actually get drier, which is not the same as what happens in our southern states. So it's very region dependent.
For our lake effect to form, we need that difference between the cold air and the water temperature on the lake, and if the lake's not as cold, that could eliminate or at least put in check some of the lake effect snow totals this year.
What exactly, when and where, we'll just have to wait until they get here. The understanding of El Nino and La Nina cycles is still a work in progress and will continue to be known as unpredictable. But consider the location. Indiana weather is not always the most compatible to work with in the first place.
And we are still surprised. And that's part of the interesting thing about science is you really don't have the full answer. You still got to investigate, still do the research, say, well, we thought we knew what we were talking about, but there's still pieces of the puzzle we don't know yet.
I'm Eric-Sarul, reporting for Fast Track.